exercises.
And that's how we go live. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Where figures? I start and then my notebook disappears. Whatever, it's fine. We're gonna figure this out as we go. Hello, welcome to Hoard the Dragon Queen number. Oh, is there music? I don't know if there's music. Do I have music?
Bum, 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 bum.
I guess now I have music.
There you go.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, Laura.
So charismatic.
Yes. Let's see. Let's move this over here. And okay. So I don't know if I have music, but we'll grab, I don't know, this guy. There we go. Ooh, we got double.
Huh?
I got double music playing. Hang on, there we go. So hello everyone, and welcome. Let's try this again. To Hoard of the Dragon Queen, number 28. My name is Ted. This is the Nerd Immersion channel, and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. We are, again, 28 episodes deep, but we're finally starting to pick up speed as far as campaign goes. And the reason I say that is we had a little bit of a lull, if you will, through what is arguably touted as one of the most controversial chapters in Hoard of the Dragon Queen, the caravan travel north, as it could take very long time, as it did in our game, or it could take a very short amount of time. But I feel like if it takes no time, it loses some of the fact that it's a lengthy travel. So anyway, we are going to join the Belladonnas here in a minute, but let me just get a few quick announcements out of the way before we do so. So, first of all, I'm going to put a link in the chat. We have a giveaway that is only going for another 3 days. This is with our friends at Polyhero Dice. If you've seen any of the posts going around with people with the cool wizard-looking dice, or the spinny wizard hat, or the D6s that look like fireballs, that's them. They have a new Kickstarter that just went live, and it ends on the same day as our giveaway for their new Rogue set of dice. It has cool things like a D20 lockpick, and a D3 grappling hook, and a D6 poison bottle, and things of that nature. So they have a bunch of cool colors they've unlocked. They just unlocked the glow-in-the-dark set, so that also ends the same time as our giveaway. But to celebrate that, we are giving away 4 sets of their wizard dice. So you can go ahead and enter that. Most of you are already doing all the things you need to do to enter. So why not get yourself potentially a chance at some free dice? And if you haven't used your Twitch Prime subscription and you blow that on us, that gets you 10 more entries into the giveaway. So throw that out there. Tomorrow night is a brand new campaign. Last week we did our Evil game, which is the last Tuesday of every month. Tomorrow starts episode 1 of the brand new homebrew campaign that's been in the making for over a year and a half, I think, at this point, based on the way the time works out. So it's been a long time coming. It's very nerve-wracking. I am excited, but also nervous, as everything is from the ground up here. So but thankfully I had assistance. Katie helped me out in a handful of things, as so did some of you guys on Twitter by suggesting names and things, as well as folks in our Discord. So be on the lookout. You guys may be able to help in the future. Oh man, a Ratchet Kitty Cat subscribed and made Jake dance over there in the corner. Look at that. Eating fajitas, still has time to sub. How about that?
That a girl.
So anyway, come along for the homebrew journey, level 1, and that is tomorrow. So, with that being said, let us dive into the game. So what happened last time? Our group of adventurers, the Belladonnas, finished that long caravan ride I alluded to earlier. They made their way to Castle Neartar, where they helped liberate the lizard folk people from the tyranny of bullywugs, which would be a game that no one would play. And they basically cleared out this whole castle and then went through a teleporter and found themselves in the woods somewhere. They don't really know where they are, but they did a little snooping around, saw some trolls and some drakes, and then made their way inside the cabin in the woods, labeled the Talis Ladies Finishing School, for lack of a better term, because I forgot what I actually called it. But they decided to start sneaking their way through, inspecting things, found some weird animal heads on the walls, but also found some various armor sets and things in places, and I think there were some gargoyles as well, if I recall, before they eventually made it to one final room where they had the showdown with the lady in charge herself, Talis, and her 3 kind of elite guards, her elite lady guards here, and in the process of some potentially things that I said that should have not been said, based on the fact that I was reminded after I said it that everybody was in disguise. But hey, metagaming. So the party decided to, after several blows were exchanged, to talk everybody down. Let's hold up, pump the brakes. Maybe we should just have a conversation. And that's pretty much where we ended last time. The Belladonnas are in the room. There is ice on the floor that is melting from an ice storm. Everybody, as you can see from the little tokens, everybody's pretty dinged up. Pretty, I guess, with the exception of Lux managed. I mean, she's just a tank, so she's taking damage. So, when you have enough health, I guess it doesn't really matter. So, party is there, and that I don't think I missed anything else, right, guys? That pretty much covers what we went over last time, right? Nothing of importance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where we'll pick up. So you guys are in the room. You just told Talis, "Hold on, let's have a conversation," and that's pretty much where we left off. So what we and her guards, again, as I said last time, look kind of like, are you serious right now? Like, after all, like, that's it? That's it? And she's like, let's stop. Let's have our conversation. Here's my notebook. Even though this wasn't the one where I wrote stuff in last time, we'll make it work. So, what would you guys like to do? You calmed them down. They seem... swords are away. Wand is lowered.
I would. Go ahead.
There's like a table in the middle? It looks like, with some chairs.
Yes.
Is it blown to pieces, or is it?
No, because the ice storm was actually more out in the hallway than actually in the room itself.
So I'm gonna kind of like raise my hands and then like go over to the table and like pull out a chair and just be like very. Look at how non-assuming and like safe and wonderful I am.
Okay. So while this has gone down, Odella goes and sits in a chair. What about the rest of you?
I will also sit in a chair and suggest that maybe we cool down with a nice glass of rosé, if they have some available.
Yes. Funny enough, you know that they happen to have that.
It's almost as if I've gone through every room in this house.
Almost every room. Although there is, I believe, 1 or 2 you guys did not actually go through.
Nearly every room in this house.
Yes. Alright, so you guys all sit down, and she will look to... she'll basically ring a bell on the wall that you guys didn't see before, because the focus was on, like, shit's going down! So, let's stop the Dragon Ball Super music real quick and pick some...
But I love it.
Yes, it's
actually... Do you want me to sing it some more?
If you would, while I pull up some other music. Let's go with this. Sure. I don't know what it sounds like, but we'll go with that.
Oh, this is nice.
Sure.
Some like harp music, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know.
What that is?
I think I have it as like sleepy... I think I labeled it sleepy rest time music. So.
I would
you're gonna make
totally
me go
fall
asleep.
for this. Yeah.
All right, hold on. I have to put on my music. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it too slow? Is it too slow? I can put some-
I've been up since 2:45 this morning, so
Girl, you
Ooh.
crazy.
it's work. So my call.
Oh, I can put on the Roswin music.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, we'll put
That's
on
my
Roswin.
jam.
We'll put on, what did I call it?
Nothing will go wrong with Roswin music.
I think I called it bubbly, upbeat bubble-esque, I believe is what it's.
It's perfect. All right, ladies, shall we talk?
Alright.
I like, since I'm in a finishing school, I puff up my poof sleeves and smooth out my dress and cross my legs.
Odella also like prestidigitates herself so that she's not covered in ice anymore.
Okay. So, as time goes on, as you guys all make your way, her guards seem the most hesitant, as they were the most banged up.
Mm-hmm.
As I believe Lux went in and I either way, they're banged up. So they all sit down. The guards more tentatively than her. And as you guys are all pulling at your seats, kind of awkwardly getting, what do you do with your hands? The table, I don't know.
Elbows off the table.
Of course, sure.
Proper.
Lux would actually take one of the chairs and turn it backwards. If you
Sure, of course, turn
Oh
it.
man.
Yeah. All right.
Roswin goes, Odella, I don't know much about manners, but I don't think that's right, right?
Just don't look down. She has a very short skirt on.
Roswin looks down.
Well, that's how this game's gonna start.
Okay.
So,
I don't know.
you guys, I guess we
Don't
can
worry.
pull out the turn order. We don't need that right now. So, after a few minutes, a male dwarf comes in. He's in, like, basically what I'll describe as waiter attire, if you will. Like, black vest, white shirt, like a bow tie. And his hair he's still a dwarf, but it is more like nicely combed and nicely braided. And you've got there's like some little gold like beads at the tail ends of the braids. And he comes one hand behind his back, hand in front, with a platter. On the platter is a bottle of rosé and 4 champagne flutes, and then he opens his eyes wide when he looks in the room that there is more than the expected 4 people. So he comes in and quickly sets it down, and then without a word, rushes back out of the room. So at which point she will begin to start pouring each of these and starts handing them to all of you. But as she pours them, you see the slightest bit of frost coalesce around her hand to perfectly chill each flute before she hands
The
them
class in this place,
off.
just off the charts.
I've never had cold rosé before. Is this how fancy people live?
And she will look at you and she'll say, well, here at my finishing school, we have only the finest things.
I see.
And within a much shorter period of time, the same dwarf, now breathing heavy, a little bit of sweat pouring down his face, comes back with another platter with another bottle and another 4 flutes that he brings to the lady, and she just kind of gives him a nod, and he kind of bows and runs back out of the room.
Thank you.
He doesn't acknowledge, he just runs away.
Oh.
So, and she proceeds to pour herself as well as her guards champagne as well. And she will pick up the flute and look to everyone and say, well, let us make a toast to new friendships, and she will put her flute up as if to toast.
I will also raise my champagne flute up to toast.
I reach across the table and tink her cup.
Like, she's, like, in the process of a toast, and then Rosalind's just like... and she has, like, a quizzical... There's, like, a little quizzical smile as this happens, but alright. What about Lux and Mir? What are their thoughts about this whole scenario?
Mira's like a little annoyed because she got poked, so she's just like squatting there, pouting.
Ears back.
What about Lux?
Lux will take the flute,
Mhm.
put it up, but she will set it back down.
Okay, no drinking. Got it. Alright, so then she says, and then she kind of like raises the glass and then again takes a sip, as do her guards from the champagne. So she looks again to all of you as she sets her flute down on the table and says, well, it seems that we may have some things to talk about. Your negotiation tactics are strange, I will say, but perhaps we can help each other. So, first of all, I must ask, what brings you exactly to my finishing school? And she just addresses the four of you.
Odella, you're the most ladiest here.
The most ladiest.
To be honest, a teleportation circle brought us here.
And she says, alright, that makes sense. So you found yourself in Castle Neartar then?
You could say that.
What brought you there?
Literally, I'm thinking because I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's fine.
Our friends. Remember, we helped our friends, and they were
Right.
squatters.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think how to word it. Well, we were sure you're not unfamiliar from the decor around this place with the cult of the dragon, but we were following some clues here and there, and we came across some lizard folk who seemed to be in need of some assistance. So we helped them a bit, and that's how we got to the castle Neartar.
And she, as you say this, she does seem to be taking each word that you say, and just the look on her face as though she is, this is all calculated. She is very analytical and taking in each word that you say, and seems to be giving it significant thought. Before she says to you, she says, well, we are no stranger to the cult of the dragon. We are members ourselves, but things have gone down an unfortunate path. So, again, perhaps we can do business. And she says, she says, and you can see that she again is wearing this white attire, and she says, my name is not just Talis, I often go by Talis the White. And she tells you that, she says, my goal is to rise in the ranks within the cult of the dragon and hope that my rivals fail spectacularly. Perhaps our interests align in this. She says, I'm going to warrant a guess that you're aware of the massive hoard of treasure that has been moving throughout the Sword Coast. Am I correct?
You're correct.
And she goes, I think you should stop it. She says that Resmir has been orchestrating this transportation of all of this treasure towards a castle that is not too far from here. It is, it goes by the name of Skyreach Castle. It is a floating cloud giant castle. She says they are using this castle to expedite the delivery. And there is a massive shipment, one that I assume you have been tracking, that is set to leave the castle soon. The exact date, I'm not sure. But it would do a great blow to Resmir were it to unfortunately not make its final destination. And I think that you four would be perfect at that. As I'm well aware that some group has been causing an issue to some of the plans of the cult thus far. There's a whole incident at a hatchery and other things, but that's not my business. So,
why do you want to raise in the ranks of the Cult of the Dragon? What's your end game? You want that treasure?
no, she says, let me get my exact wording here, because if I remember, I just want to make sure that I'm not overspeaking and not revealing something for the next campaign.
Aw, look at someone's getting a blankie.
Oh,
That's that
man.
premium boyfriend care.
Oh, they're wearing the same shirt.
He's frozen and dying.
She says, I was once... Well, she'll look before she speaks. She starts to say that and she stops. She goes, how familiar are you with the Cult of the Dragon? What do you know about us?
I think you like Tiamat.
She says that is reasonable.
So far everyone I met is not very nice, and so that's a little concerning, I'll be frank with you. And some of the people I met just keep trying to hatch more dragons. I know that. That's about it for me.
And she just looks to the rest of you expectantly to see if you know anything else.
From what I know of the Cult of the Dragon, you're ultimately seeking to restore Tiamat to her glory, which I agree with Roswind is a little concerning, but otherwise, it seems like most cults, you work in the shadows, collect wealth, collect power to one end or the other.
All right. So, she says there are 5 high-ranking members of the Cult of the Dragon. We call these members Worm Speakers. They are, as one might assume, based around... I'm going to change... Roswell music's good, but we're getting into, like, ominous stuff, so I'm going to change the music just a bit. Get something a little bit more
I feel like we're all wearing matching pajamas with Roswell music on.
Yeah.
Each other's hair while we discuss.
So, she says, They are the 5 worms speakers are based after each particular kind of chromatic dragon. The leaders, these worm speakers, are as follows: Severin the red, Galvan the blue, Nerovane the green, Resmir the black, and Varum the white. She says, I used to be, as I told you, I am referred to as Talis the White. The role of Worm Speaker used to be mine. And due to disagreements with my colleagues, this was given to Varum instead of me. So, I wish to attain my old role, and in causing the others to fail, I shall be able to attain my rightful title. I can get you passage and the phrases required to gain access to this castle. I can provide you with some supplies, and that what else can she tell you, or what else will she tell you? Let's be honest here. Without any kind of prodding. Let's see. This castle, as previously discussed, is full of riches and valuables, but it won't be for long. So, I have no need for such riches, so anything that you were to find upon said castle would be yours to keep. And in destroying and ruining this delivery of those treasures, that benefits my needs and yours. So really, that's just a win-win.
Can I insight check her?
Sure. What are you trying to insight?
Just to see, like, she really doesn't, like, one, I kind of want to know if this seems normal, like, the struggle and, like, power. Like, if the, kind of relying on my own knowledge of the cults of the dragon to see if, like, this seems normal for, like, that they would be fighting, or, and two, that she really doesn't care about the treasure at all.
Okay, sure.
She's not going to be, like, coming up after us and...
No, go ahead and...
Oh, you took care of everything. Now I'm going to take all the treasure from you.
Sure. Go ahead and make me an insight check. 15? Yeah, she seems to be telling the truth. She does seem... there is, like, a wistful look in her eyes as she talks about being a worm speaker. As she mentions what it used to be one, and she doesn't really dive into the details as to why she is where she is, but that she has she's had some setbacks that have painted herself as a disgruntled cultist. So she wants to have her needs and wants realized, but doesn't want doesn't want everyone else to know that it was her, if that makes sense. Gotcha. So she says, I will tell you, I do not know how much of my finishing school you have explored before you found your way here, but we have that is just totally wrong. This book is awful as far as referencing rooms that are not the right room.
Gotcha.
So she can tell you that where is it? Sidebar. She will tell you that in general, when pressed, if one needs to lie, there are several signs and phrases that you can say to pass yourself off as a member of the Cult of the Dragon.
Okay.
She says the most common is to hold all 5 fingers out, extended, and call the turn. This is what's called the Tiamat salute. Is this?
Dragon Hitler.
The phrases "All hail Tiamat" and "They shall rise" are frequent phrases. She says cultists often wear 5-colored bands, or even use red, blue, and green stripes as coded bits of clothing. Let's see. She also will tell you that there are some banners that have the cult has its own symbol, but those banners are few and far between. But she does tell you that in the one linen closet, there is a banner there with 5 stripes colored black, blue, green, red, and white, and it is meant to be flown on a lance or a spear as a signal when approaching this castle to show that the bearer is friendly. And you are welcome to use that. Also, the passphrase is to enter the castle is Tiamat, our mother and strength.
So, on a personal level, Talis, what brought you to come to worship Tiamat? What are you gonna get in the end?
She says, well, as with anyone who worships any deity or any greater power, I worship that which I believe, and in serving my goddess, I hope to achieve glory in her eyes.
Odella kind of idly rubs her like holy symbol necklace.
Lux is trying not to cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize. You mentioned that the castle. It's a cloud giant castle. Are the cloud giants still in residence there?
She says, I'm not sure, but I believe it can only be flown by a cloud giant. I do not know if there are multiple, or there is one, or it's been circumvented somehow. I haven't had much dealings. That has not been something that in my current station I have been privy to. And she seems just perturbed at the fact that she doesn't know all of the facts. She says it is hidden near the village of Parnast, which is currently under the cult's control. Again, I do not know how long it shall remain there.
Where are we located at the moment?
You don't know. Oh, are you asking her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good question.
I'd be like, yeah, you don't know.
And we don't. That's what I'm asking.
Alright, so
I'm lost.
I apologize. When we came through the teleportation circle, it wasn't quite clear.
yes. Let me get you the exact how far you are. Okay. Sorry, I don't know if I have the exact. Oh, here we go. Traveling to Parnast.
Is Parnast on the Sword Coast map or no?
It should be, I think. Thought it was. Is it? Yep, it's all the way on the right near the Black Road, near the Anarok Desert, right next to the Grey Peak Mountains.
Oh, okay. I see it. Thank you.
She says, let's see. She says it's about 5 miles east of here. We are deep within the Great Peak Mountains.
We came from around.
The Mirror of Dead Men,
Woo.
which is way on the other side.
Roswin
Oh,
murmurs,
wow.
I'm so sorry, Poppy.
Yeah, you see, if you look on that map, about halfway between Waterdeep and Neverwinter is
Mhm.
the Mirror of Dead Men.
Yep, I see it now.
And then you're way to hell on the other side over by Parnast.
Jeez.
Words the hell are necessary in this case.
So,
Oh, kind of close to my cottage.
yeah. She says it's a 5-mile hike on the far side of the mountain through hills and things. It'll probably be about a half day's walk for you to get there.
Wow.
How do we get up to the castle?
She says if you make your way, the castle is docked, if you will. They have wyvern ferries that would be able to, or they may potentially, if you go right to the front gate, you may just have them lower a rope bridge and you can climb. Or, and she gestures to Roswin, fly.
Do they know who I am? Like, would it be safe to just look like me? Do you know? Have any intel on that?
She says, she says, I don't know, but I do know, as I said, that there's a group that has been operating to slowly put a stop to have thwarted the cult's efforts on various occasions. I am fairly, I guess, secluded here at my finishing school. And I don't know. I have heard of the death of one Frula Mondath and her ward in the Dragon Hatchery. But news of that has not spread throughout the cult. So I've been... Well, I shouldn't reveal all of my secrets.
Why not?
So, she just smiles and takes another sip of her champagne. Or her rosé, I should say.
Is it like rosé champagne though? Like, is it like carbonated rosé?
I don't know. Katie, what would you want it to be? What would Roswin want it to be?
Of course she wants them bubbles.
Then it's champagne. Yes, then it is bubbled.
So cool. Super fancy, guys.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
No, I feel like I don't know if any of you ladies do, but I feel like if we could have a moment to discuss once we're done asking questions, that would be lovely. This is a lot to think about.
And she leans back in her chair and says, "Oh, by all means," and then continues to
Oh,
her champagne. And her guards sit there, and she just kind of spreads her hands and lets you guys have your discussion.
no privacy in finishing school. I would not vacation here.
I mean, she says feel free to step out into the hallway.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
was gonna say, let's move out and go into another room that we happen to know is empty.
I'm wondering, do I recognize her at all from the cult?
You don't recognize her, but let's see. Let me make a roll real quick. Let's see. Because you wouldn't... She's been kind of squirreled away in these woods for a while. So she's not really in the area where you be. And she only got a 7. So she doesn't recognize you either. So that's a benefit.
Would she know about me
if she potentially, I mean, you did murder a higher ranking official in the Cult of the Dragon, where she too put 2 and 2 together, but apparently with her 7, that news didn't make it her way. So yeah, they sit and wait, and you guys are obviously able to step out into the hallway. Or into another room, wherever you just said you wanted to go.
Yeah, once we're reasonably assured that they're not, like, explicitly listening to us, I guess we'll... So what do you guys think? Do you think we should... I don't see... It does seem like a win-win, and this might be a... I know that working with them now might seem... What's the word? Detrimental to our overall cause, but I think it'll be difficult for us to get in there, defeat this, to deal with this now, and then go deal with that later. I feel like dealing with the money first might...
I mean, to be honest, from what I know about them, it doesn't really seem like they're good people. I feel like we're going to have to come and find her eventually, because the same thing's just going to happen, but under her command.
Let's not forget that our original mission is just to find where this money is going and, I guess, report back. But if we can stop it from going anywhere, then I think also mission accomplished.
Something tells me that we're not going to have time to go report back. It seems like with the extra transportation from that castle, we're going to have to take care of it.
I agree.
And now we know where all the stuff is that we need. I don't know. Light or Lux? Light Lux. What do you think? You've been very, very quiet. The most quiet.
Let's just say I'm biting my tongue. This is not my... How would you say, Roswin? Not my cup of tea.
I would say that. That is the thing I'd say.
I mean, and this whole time you will see her eyes flickering back and forth with the gold in her hazel.
Well, somebody wants some treasure. I know that much.
Anything else?
What about you, favorite kitty?
I think maybe if we follow the money, it'll bring us where we should go.
Okay, well, if that's what we all think, then I say we go along with it, and if she becomes a problem later down the line, then we can deal with it then. Is that what we're coming to?
I feel like this also could be beneficial to us in stirring up the rivalries that they seem to have. If we upset their power balance, then it might be later on that it could work to our favor. If she's newly appointed back into power, then she might not have as many followers as the person who's in control now.
And if we get all that treasure, and that's something that they seem to need, it's going to take a long time to get all that back.
Correct. Although she doesn't seem that concerned about the money, so she might not be as involved in their current plans.
You also have noticed, walking around this place, that everything here that you've seen is very fine.
Yeah.
Like, the linens themselves are worth, like, more than, like, an average small town worker would make in a year. Like, the stuff here is high end.
Like, maybe she was a little skimming some stuff off the top as it came through.
Possibly, but either way, I mean, her dress, the what you...
Sorry.
You're right over there.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I mean, the fact that you saw that there was just, like, rosé for days, and you guys didn't actually go into the kitchen, I don't think.
I was
No.
gonna say I do.
There's a
wanna,
bunch of guys in there.
I do want to talk to the help and see what their thoughts on her are. Let's go get some snacks.
Is that what you're going to do right now?
Yeah, can we? Can we get some
What?
snacks?
I mean, are you
She might
asking
be
Ted or are
expecting
you
us
asking
back.
her? Because you walked out of the room and I assume shut the door and walked away. I didn't know if you were planning on going back or you're just going to, like, peace out and leave her there waiting for you to come back.
Well,
Can
we
I
should-
stealth and get some snacks?
yeah, bring more rosé.
Uh,
And ask that dwarf if Talis is nice.
sure.
Yeah. The look on
if-
his face says that he's probably not going to say that she's nice.
What if I threaten him?
Alright, so make me a stealth check then.
I'm gonna use my fate die.
Okay, yeah, get advantage on that. There we go.
I'm gonna
That's-
give you guidance too.
Wait,
plus
did it roll?
Ah!
I don't
No.
see a roll.
The cat came out of nowhere.
So go ahead and try that again.
Alright, there we go.
So that is 20. It's pretty good. So you sneak away, and then one of the she is as Mira is sneaking off to steal some snacks. What about the rest of you?
I would say Rosman's trying to be super like sneaky about things, and she's still talking just so it seems like we're still discussing, but really she's just like, man, I hope that they have cookies. Lux, what's your favorite kind of cookie?
Can while Roswin is putting on a show, can I look at that note that I made a copy of real quick again?
The
See
redacted
if I
note?
can- yeah, and see if I can put like the letters to the maybe the names of the worm speakers that she spoke of. 'Cause I remember.
Oh, that letter, not the
Yeah.
redacted.
Well,
It
that one was
just-
redacted too, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't redacted. It just
Oh.
used code names.
I
Right.
think there was a B in it, which I don't remember any of the people's names having B.
All right. So, my
B
dearest
as
friends, I hope this reaches you in Waterdeep. A little bird told me you'd been seen there in the council chambers of the Lord's Alliance of all things. You are associating with powerful people. How grand for you. Do be careful. If F can find you, so can our other friends. Speaking of our friends in purple, they were much distressed to know that... Sorry, make sure the names... I didn't change any of the names here. Let's see. Sorry, my mistake. They were quite perturbed to know that their Thayan associates cannot be found. I think they blame you. Our mutual friend F has been a most enjoyable guest. Such a sweet young woman, so tender-hearted. She deeply grieved upon learning about R. This is written in a very fine script text. It's very hard to read. I can assure you, we all respond to news of our loved ones differently. F continues her studies into draconic lore, learning that there is now a vacancy among the leadership only intensified her interest. But we both grow anxious for news from you. I hope you're pursuing V with all diligence. And then the rest is, and then it, please, I'm going to cut the rest out. So please make haste. Cordially yours, Talis.
So is the demise of R?
Say again?
It was the demise of R? Or...
It doesn't say anything about a demise.
Oh, wait. You cut out... my internet is still doing that wonky thing where it cuts out a little bit. So there's something about, like, F is, like, a pretty young girl or something, and then there's...
It said that she's a sweet young woman. She, was deeply grieved to learn about R, and we all respond to news of our loved ones differently. It doesn't expressly state demise.
Oh, okay.
But, well, that's another thank you, Homer, for the sub. Everybody loves watching Jake dance.
It's true.
We're gonna have to come up with some other things first, like, other things. But yeah, and then there was something about tracking V with all haste. Yeah.
How are those snacks coming near?
Okay, we can look at the snacks while this is happening. Sure. So 7 is the kitchen. Yes. Okay. So, yes. So as you make your way towards the kitchen, it is a hive of activity. There's a large stove against one wall with a roaring fire and a bubbling stew pot. Shanks of venison suspended above it. Strings of onions and herbs crisscross the ceiling like webs above cluttered tables. Preparing the meals are 4 male dwarves. All are within arm's reach of boiling water, cleavers, and knives. And that's it. I guess they feel like if you read it by the book, they are absolutely going to fight you.
I ain't scared.
And as you peek into the room the way you know to go, you can see that there is a staircase that goes to downstairs to some sort of basement, you would assume. And there is another door in this room that is cracked open a little bit. So go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, with an 18, you can see that room is it seems to be a pantry.
Can I reach in all stealth-like?
I mean, you do have to. It is 20 feet from the door, so you have to cross to it. But you can certainly attempt to do so.
Yes.
Okay, let me make a quick check for these guys. I think. Actually, no, these would be passive checks. Your stealth is way higher than their passive. So you sneak in, past them, and inside this pantry, it is well stocked with beans, butter, smoked hams, hard biscuit, fresh apples, eggs, sacks of flour, and barrels of ale. Seems to be enough food here to last for a very long winter. And you can go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Okay, this is important.
And there's pie.
Oh, it's all on my freaking tray. Yeah.
So, let's see what that investigation check turns up. Maybe. If it ever should. There it is. Oh! 6!
That's rough.
Yeah.
Can I check again?
No, because you just snuck in here, so the fact that you snuck across 20 feet over an open room with 4 people in it, I'm gonna say you get one shot to root around in here to find something specific. So, no, you don't find, well, you get a 6, you don't know what that means. But, you see, you know, some stuff around here. You don't see any particular pies and or cookies, but you do see the things I mentioned: biscuits, apples, smoked ham, eggs, flour, ale, butter, beans. You realize that pantry is probably not again, because you would have to make pies and cookies more likely fresh. They wouldn't most likely be in a pantry. Like,
Well, where would they be?
probably in the kitchen where the people are making the food.
On the windowsill.
Could I? Is there a way I could sneak in there undetected if I were stealthy enough?
I mean, you did sneak through the kitchen to the pantry. There is a basement, and then
Like,
there
you're
is
doing like barrel rolls and like, behind, like on the ceiling.
On the scene. A little bit of cat hair goes down, somebody sneezes.
You are in this room. They are preparing food, clearly. Seems to be mostly like some kind of stew and more dinner time foods. But I will say that in the middle of the room, on the windowsill, cooling, is a pie.
Oh, yes.
However,
Yes.
this is like you need to sneak across an open room
Mm-hmm.
about 30 feet into this open room. Make your way to a windowsill unseen. Extricate this pie, and then make it back upstairs, all without being seen, while Roswin is trying to stall upstairs that you guys are negotiating.
Bum, 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 bum,
I
bum,
mean,
bum.
okay, this is an important question. What kind of pie is it?
You
Ooh,
don't.
yeah,
you
figure out
don't.
if it's
You don't
worth
know. It's
I can't like smell it or see anything dripping out.
from 30 feet
I
across the
mean,
room inside the
cat.
pantry. 30 feet across the room inside the pantry with a stew going on in the room. You're in a room with smoked ham. No, you can't smell what kind of pie it
Well,
is.
she's a kid.
Okay.
She gets advantage on pie smelling checks because she's in Belladonnas.
She has not reached the level within the Belladonnas where you get that. She needs at least one more level within the Belladonnas before
No pie.
she gets
One more
advantage.
renown.
Before she gets what did that be? It'll be pie senses, advantage on perception checks related
I'm
to
putting
smelling
that
pies.
in my things, my features and traits.
So, okay. First, can I some biscuits?
Sure.
Okay, a couple.
Anything in here you want to get, you're stealthily in this room. You can successfully take anything from within the pantry without
Are
any
they
issue.
sweet biscuits?
They are hard biscuits.
Ugh. Alright, just 2. We both go, "Ugh."
Takes a bite, she's like, "Ugh, put some
Again, as I said, this pantry seems to be stuff that is designed to last a winter. So, like, it is more, I'd say more like non-perishable type stuff. Although there is apples, and eggs, so never mind. But anyway, there is, again, beans, butter, ham, smoked ham specifically, hard biscuits, fresh apples, eggs, flour, and barrels of ale.
Okay. So I just remembered that I have a pet mouse. Could I release it for a distraction?
Okay, you're gonna. So what's the? Okay.
Wait, my pet mouse is intelligent, right?
No, it's just a mouse.
Oh.
throw a chicken.
And you do have 4
I-
chickens as well.
Could I like place my pet mouse on the table and like let him run across the so where the people are cooking?
You absolutely can. I will remind you that the 4 cooks are all within arm's reach of cleavers, and you have a pet mouse. So if that actually matters to you, there's a good chance your mouse will be dead.
Well, is he reasonably fast for a mouse?
He's as fast as a mouse.
He is
He is a mouse. He is no
That's
faster or
beautiful.
slower than any
Yeah,
other
really
mouse.
I mean, considering how messed up it is that I have a mouse pet, I'm a cat.
Listen, I didn't roll for that. You did. Actually, you didn't. That just is part of your backstory.
This could be really sad. Well, he's not my friend. I mean, I found him. Wasn't it? That was like a trinket.
That's a background thing for an urchin, is you have a pet mouse.
Aw.
The thought process when you're on the street, that's your only friend, is your
Oh,
pet
okay.
mouse.
Well, your only friend. I mean,
You got new
shit.
friends now. You
I
don't need
want to fucking
Out of
clean
character.
it up.
out of character. Sacrifice.
Aw. I mean, imagine the. Let's just put it this way. I think that my urchin mouse friend, interspecies friend. So I want to use him as a distraction, and I'm gonna wish him the best of luck.
Okay. I will tell you two things. First, one, he is just a mouse on a table, so he may not run anywhere. He may just like be like, "Oh, look at this," and like stand on the table.
terrible. Just like smack against the wall, he's dead.
Uh,
the chefs are like,
I
what the
can't
fuck?
really play this. It's too hard.
as he is a mouse with a mouse's intelligence. So,
Well, he wants to live, right?
I mean, yes,
And he's maybe a little hungry because.
you haven't fed him. Yeah.
Ever.
Turns out he's just dead. Like he. You're just a cat, so you didn't notice, didn't think anything of it. You're like, oh, whatever. I will also remind you that somewhere on your person is a bamboo cage with like 5 chickens in it.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, you have the chicken.
Yeah.
How am I even stealthy with 5 chickens in my bag?
Because I literally
They're
just
not in the
remembered.
hole.
No, because if they go in the hole, they'll die because they'll run out of oxygen in 10
But
minutes.
how am I stealthy with chickens on me?
Because
Don't
I
go.
forgot, so now you're not stealthy because you have
No,
5.
I don't
Release
know,
those
'cause
chickens.
I roll.
Right, and then I would also have to make rolls for the 5 chickens that are squawking in the cage.
Okay.
But
But-
they only squawk if there's
They've
danger.
got little,
Right now, there's
little
no
like
imminent danger.
muzzles on.
Sure.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
either way, you are
Here's the
in the
thing.
pantry with 5 chickens and a mouse. So,
Okay.
Throw
My
them all.
I keep my mouse friend, and I'm gonna just release these motherfucking chickens into the
you're just
kitchen
gonna throw all 5
Just to-
chickens into the kitchen.
and grab the pie and run for my life.
Okay.
We're never getting out of this finishing school now.
All right.
We
So
were hungry. You didn't serve us anything with the rosé. You're a horrible.
We got real
host.
drunk because we're lightweight.
I almost won against Mr. T in a drinking competition, so I am not a lightweight.
all right. So you tuck your mouse friend back away wherever your mouse friend is housed, and you reach and open up your bamboo cage and grab your 5 chickens, open the door, and then throw 5 chickens into a kitchen. And then what? So chickens are out, they're in the room, they're hopping like they're out, they flutter, everybody
who's that
turns
Nancy
around.
I immediately dart for the pie, grab it, and run out as fast as a cat can run.
Okay.
This cat can run.
All right. So
I'm just saying.
they see you because 5 chickens is the antithesis of stealth. So you throw 5 chickens into the room, and then you just start taking off running through the middle of the 4 of them to the windowsill. I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll for initiative.
I don't want to fight. I just want.
Yeah, but they're like, who the fuck is this blur of fur in our fucking kitchen?
That's a good one.
That is pretty good. They're probably gonna get opportunity attacks, but
No, they're surprised.
They're very surprised. I'm sure.
the chickens cancel the surprise. Because if we want to get technical, right, your action is to throw the chickens. So you
disengage is a bonus action.
if you want to do that, you can run into the room. You grab the pie, which is 30 feet across the room. You're disengaging. You run in. You grab the pie, and then you run back out of the room.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's how it went.
This is the
Better
best
be good pie.
we've ever done.
Oh, hang on, because it's not done now. So, Jesus Christ, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If Fear gets killed because of this, I don't even know what we're gonna do.
Will you drink to me?
This
We had to return back to our room.
this could be it for the campaign. We'll see what happens. So, okay. So you, right. So, well, it wouldn't be, Zaltrus, to your point in the chat, it wouldn't be 120 feet of movement, because her action was to throw the chickens. She disengaged as a bonus action, but, so she can move 30 feet. I guess your movement speed would be, it's whatever, it doesn't matter.
I'm fast as fuck.
You're fast, and then you run, after causing this commotion, you literally run upstairs to where the boss is and stop outside with a pie with your friends. That's the plan, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. All right.
We immediately go back in. We're like, we brought dessert. And a decision.
So, while this is happening, you guys can make me perception checks. So, yeah, Lux and Odella, you guys can also make perception checks. Let's see what happens here. 9 and 20. Alright, so Odella, you're just like really looking at this. You're really drawn in to this note, trying to connect points.
I'm trying to use my analytical skills, my hyper knowledge to be like, I'll
And
figure this note out.
Roswin and Lux, you guys hear excited dwarven voices, the sounds of like screaming, clucking chickens, and like things being turned over, and the expedited footsteps of someone ascending the stairs. At which point you also hear a ringing bell in the room you left. So, at which point, Mir will make it to the top of the stairs holding a pie.
Wow! You got pie? You're the best. Good job, girl.
And you hear, "Intruders!" from downstairs.
So, I think I should probably go hide with the pie, and someone should come with me to eat it.
You do recall that, like, everybody in the other room saw you before this went down. You sat at the table and drank their champagne before this went down. I just want to make sure.
My plan of just going back into the room with the pie and being like, "We got dessert, and here we go. Let's talk."
So, what do you guys do? And you hear commotion downstairs.
Everyone go with my plan? Are we executing?
Yeah, so they didn't give me this pie, just so you know.
Well, they were going to give us everything in this place anyway, so...
And then the door at the end of the hall where she was slams open. And she goes, "What the fuck? They rang the alarm bell."
What?
What? The kitchen alarm? What the fuck? And she looks and sees Mir there, like, slightly out of breath with a pie, and she goes, what? What? And, like, her guards are, like, there, like, swords are out behind her. They're, like, ready. They've been waiting for this.
They've been waiting for the pie, which we brought. Well, we tell you the good news that we're gonna agree to your terms.
Odella just looks like if she could facepalm so hard, she's like, what?
right now.
Now that the servants are really, up and at 'em, they can bring more rosé to celebrate because they'll be so fast to bring it, right?
At which point, you guys are having this conversation in the hallway, and she heard this shout of intruders, and comes out into the hallway, her guard's behind her, and you see, because you guys are on this kind of banister, and you can see downstairs, like over the banister, and she's just like flustered and flabbergasted at like what the fuck is going on. And you guys see downstairs, like, amassing, you see 3 dwarves, one who's being pulled by leashes of several drakes from the kennels that I accidentally alluded to that were outside. You see the suit of armor that you saw in the one room walk into the room with a sword drawn. The fancy armor that you saw. The 2 gargoyles have animated. You see the 12 kobolds come out of the other room. And you hear large footsteps of what you could only imagine to be a troll. And she goes, what the fuck?
Odella will echo that sentiment. What the fuck?
She gets it! What the fuck?
My mom always told me that there's no better way to soothe yourself than a nice slice of pie, and this one's still hot.
She goes, did you bring this pie?
No, but they were cooking it down there.
Did your mother tell you to ask before you take something?
Yeah.
Well, actually, miss, I never had a mom.
Oh, why did you bring that up?
She goes, well, she looks at you and goes, well, you were born somehow, so you did at some point. And she says, back to this point, you could have just asked. I offered you the ability to stay here and a whole bunch of information and champagne. If you were hungry, the simple answer is, I'm hungry, could we have some food? And then I have servants who would bring food. Instead, you steal it. And she, like, points at the massive army that's downstairs, and it's like, do you really want to do this right now? Do you want to do this?
You want to
bit
eat pie?
new at this. She, as you can see, she has sticky fingers,
Clearly.
and we're trying to teach her how to not be so sticky fingers. And sorry about that.
And she looks down, and she says, it's fine. She says, you guys gotta step up your game. She needs some serious training. And she says, it's fine, at ease. And you watch, like, at this point, having come in, is the 4-armed troll. And he's like, and he turns around and
Well,
stomps
now
out.
we know what they've got.
And then, like, the gargoyles, like, and then they, like, turn back into, like, they reassume gargoyle position, and the suit of armor walks into another room, and the kobolds are like, son of a bitch, but they say it in Draconic, but you guys all speak it, so it doesn't matter.
No, their response time is quite impressive. You should really be proud of yourself for that.
She says, it's kind of, we run drills every week, just in case.
I feel like you're very good at this. I'm just praise all your teaching efforts is just really paying off for you right now.
She says, and she's like, you can see, like, even though she is Talis the White, she is a very red, and she's like, you can see that she's just like she's white knuckling like the wand in her hand, and she's just like, and as she does it, like it's like cool air out of her mouth, like icy breath, even though it's warm in the house in the school. She's like, it's fine. And she says, beggars can't be choosers. She says, all glory to Tiamat. And, alright, let's have this conversation. And she, like, cracks her neck and walks and sits back down. And her guards are like, they go and sit back down.
Once they leave the hallway, Rosman looks at Mir and is like, what kind of pie is it, though?
What kind of pie is it?
It's a rhubarb pie.
Yum!
It's my favorite pie. That was so worth it.
Rosman yells back down the stairs, can you bring some plates? And then goes into the room.
So you come into the room and she's just like, and again, just fuming, but like there's frost accumulating on the desk as she's breathing out, and it is just like icing as she's breathing out heavily through her nose, and you see it's just like cold frost air that's accumulating on the desk. And she says, so, and she like just takes the freaking bottle and just starts chugging the champagne, which is a bad idea because that tiny little orifice for champagne, the bubbles, she's just pissed though. So she just downs. What?
Does she belch?
Oh yeah, she puts it down and it's just like, and she's like, and she's like, it's got like, it's one of those ones where it's stuck in her chest, and she's like,
she
Like a little bit
and she's like, well, that's, we'll add one more thing to my list of, anyway, have you reached a decision?
Yes. We are gonna help you out.
Wonderful. So, when will you be leaving?
I
What time
know.
is it?
I think we said it was like, I want to say like noon, right? Because you guys teleported, or no, you guys left the other place at noon. So we'll say it's like 2-3 in the afternoon.
I think it would be appropriate to leave in the morning.
She says, that would be fine. Are you hungry?
Roswin already has her fingers in the pie. She's like, no, I'm good.
And she just says, clearly.
Adela is literally doing this. She's like, oh.
Once again, Lux is now trying to not laugh. She's
Mira's
having
just
a
looking
wonderful
at the pie.
pleasure.
She's waiting for plays. She wants to be polite.
Some of you could use some finishing. So perhaps, upon completion of this mission, if you find yourself seeking refinement, we can have a discussion.
You know, I've come a long way. Believe it or not, I used to live in the woods by myself.
She says, I wouldn't have guessed.
Anyway, so we're all just gonna hang out for tonight.
Yeah, that seems to be the order of things.
Do you have games?
She says, sure.
I'm just gonna annoy this person to death.
Roswin is not trying to be annoying at all. She's just like, well, we're gonna be here for a while, so I mean, it's kind of nice. Also,
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know, because I'm your guest. I'm a vegetarian for like dinner later. So yeah, and I'm easy. Like if you got some fruit, I can just eat that or a salad.
Great. Yes. Dietary restrictions, of course. Why not?
Oh. Well, I'm gonna pick my bedroom.
Great. Have fun.
I will, thank you. And I leave the room.
She just
I'm
looks
so
at the
sorry.
remaining three of you. She says, "It's fine for now. My patience only lasts so long." So, and she's just addressing you in like you only, Odella, at this point. I would recommend that you keep your associates in line so we don't have any other issues. As
I will talk to them.
I can only deny my associates, servants, and esteemed students, and she gestures to the three knights there, the opportunity to test their skills and the drills of which we have focused so heavily on so many times before it's just not fair to them. So, please
Message received.
find yourself a room. There are plenty on the lower floors. We will have dinner in 3 hours' time. At which point, after, you can retire to your rooms or use any of our bathing facilities if you see fit. And I expect to not hear from you after dinner until the morning. So, I think we have an understanding. I will see you at dinner.
It's very kind of you. And Odella will be like, "Let's go," with a look to the other two.
Mira just grabs the pie and walks out.
Can you switch to the lower floor so I can pick out my room?
Sure, Katie.
Thanks. I want this one.
Sure.
And when she goes through there, she's gonna look through all the drawers.
Okay. There's nothing in there.
Okay.
What's in that back room by where the bath was?
Past the bath?
Yeah.
Are you asking her? Or are you checking?
Actually, before I leave the room fully, I'll ask if there's any places that are off limits.
Don't go in the West Wing.
Yes. Let me see. She will tell you a couple of things. She'll say, you saw some of our guards. I would recommend avoiding the kennel, as Trepson is quick to anger and doesn't get much in the way of human flesh this way. So, avoid the kennel. She says the hallway where the gargoyles are, do not enter with a weapon drawn, or they will attack on sight. She says the parlor with the suit of black armor that you saw that is animated. Let's see. Don't mess with it.
Fair enough.
And she'll say, the downstairs back right-hand corner is where my kobold servants stay. Probably don't bother them either. Which you recognize that the one room off of the bath was where you heard the kobold sounds. And let's see. And she says,
And is that linen closet upstairs?
The linen closet is on the ground floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just stop by there and grab that banner real quick.
Sure. And she says, just stay out of the basement. It's not really finished. It's kind of messy down there. There's been some flooding. Plus, you got to go through the kitchen, and my servants are not very happy with you or your people at the moment.
Can I insight check her?
Sure. And what are you trying to insight?
If the basement's really like grungy, or if maybe she's trying to like play it off.
It's hard to tell. She's fuming mad in general, so that makes there's clearly her patience seems to be teetering on the edge of a knife. In general, she seems less angry at you. Only because you seem to understand the finer things in life with your garb and your mannerisms. Oh, I guess I can reveal. Where's this on? Oh, that's on the first floor. I can reveal the. I think that there you go. You guys went into the pantry, so there you go. Pantry is now revealed.
So. All he sees these two rooms, basically, so we have to share a room.
That is accurate. Yes. Hang on, let me see if there's any on the second floor. Nope. There are two on the second floor as well.
But she specifically said the bottom floor, unless that's incorrect.
Yeah, no, that's what she said, but that's, yeah.
The other two are probably for her buddies.
Yeah. So, yeah, on the downstairs, that is what she said.
It's inappropriate for us to stay in the same room, though.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in a relationship, so that's pretty normal.
So do you and Lux want to take the green bed, and then me and Mir will take the orange bed?
When you guys come downstairs, Roswin will already be like, Lux, share a room with me, please.
All right.
You can have the side close to the wall because I need to put my wings on the edge of the bed. I thought about it.
Oh, and I was mistaken. There are 24 kobolds, not 12.
Oh, whoa.
And they are all in the one.
Surprised we didn't smell them.
They're all in that. They're all in that. You noticed when they came into the room, they were all relatively clean.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice.
Goat bath they have right next.
They do have a bath right next to their room. And yeah, there is still the one, potentially the one room that you haven't been in that is sort of off of the kitchen. However, you have not really seen where the dwarves stay. You haven't seen a room that looks to be servants' quarters yet. So, what else?
I think we're just waiting for dinner,
Yeah.
right?
Okie doke.
Rosin will go in that like library area that I think there was and just kind of read in her spare time. See if she can find anything on like Fae stuff, or if not, more about dragons.
Okay, hang on. I'm just
Right,
watching.
this is a library area, right? If I remember.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just look because our frames have tanked pretty hardcore here all of a sudden. It's the first time this has happened in a long while. So I'm gonna stop the stream for a second and then just start it back up again. Hasn't done that in a real long time, so
Just in case we get into a fight, I'm going to use my hit die.
that's fair. You guys are basically have 3 hours, so you can get the benefits of a short rest. If anybody would like to heal or otherwise. With your short rest healing abilities, because I know you guys did all get banged up pretty good.
You said after we talk with Talis and stuff, we level up. So is that considered the time, or do we have to take a long rest before?
You don't have to take a long rest. It looks like we are back up live again. So sorry to anybody in the chat who was wondering where we went. The OBS was a jerk, I guess. So let's see. 11. That was the parlor. Was the room with the various heads on the wall. There was not really an area that had a lot of... There's no true library. There was... Yeah, there was a couple of different rooms that you saw. She had some stuff in her room on her desk. But yeah, there was no true library. The parlor has the various displays, the trophies on the wall. That's this room. This also had the tapestry with the stag and the pair of green dragons that you guys, I think, already took. That weighs 40 pounds, worth 400 gold.
We actually, I don't think you took.
Oh, did you not take him? I can't remember. Okay, I couldn't remember if you took anything or not. Okay.
Which I think is working out because I feel like she'd be even more pissed if she walked around and noticed that shit was missing from her house.
Yeah. Okay, well then I'll play Boulder Parchment Shears with everybody.
Okay. You can do that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any donations, $4 donations. I just scroll back up. I think we're
Ready?
good.
Play. Oh, that was a lag. Okay, tie.
Are we doing it on 3 or after 3?
We're doing it on 3.
Okay.
This lag is so funny watching you guys do this to try to time up.
Okay. Okay, one more.
Alright, one more.
Okay, wait, no, one more because we're in a tie.
How'd you tie if you did 3? Oh, you tied to the first one.
I lost.
Alright. So.
Yeah, do you have bendy fingers that are weird like this?
Wait, do I? Or
Yeah, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm double jointed.
Me too.
Like, I'm on my-
Gross.
So learning a little bit more about each other. You guys take your 3 hours. Is there anything specific you wanted to do during that time other than play Boulder Parchment Shears?
Did you say there's not an area that had books?
There wasn't really a library. I don't remember. I don't think I said anything about that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
I don't remember either. It just looked like those were bookshelves.
No, those are mostly tables and heads. And you were able to go and extricate that banner from the linen closet.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
So you do have that.
And then I'm also going to peek my head in the kitchen and just apologize for.
Okay.
So they don't spit in my food later.
Fair. You see the kitchen. There are the 4 dwarves. You see the staircase going down to the basement. You see there's a door that leads outside. There are 2 doors in this room, again, that you can kind of see on the map. One leads to a room you haven't been in. One leads to a hallway. And then you can see the door to the pantry.
I'm just going to lean my head and be like, excuse me, I am a guest of your mistress, and I just wanted to profoundly apologize for the antics of one of my companions earlier, and I wanted to know if there's anything that I could do to make it up to you fine fellows.
They say, oh, no, it's fine. I guess we're having chicken for dinner. And you see there are 4 or 5 chickens with their heads cut off, blood draining off onto the side. They say it's good. We mostly use our chickens for eggs, so this is a benefit, but just tell her to fucking ask for pie if she wants it.
I know.
Where the fuck are these people from?
Well,
Excuse my language, but this is a finishing school. Fuck.
Well, they're definitely in need of finishing. And
For fuck's sake, you're right.
I'm so proud of you, Mir.
They go, I've seen her go off on people for less, so you must have something that she wants, or you'd probably all be dead.
Well, I mean, we did work something out, but yes, it was just an atrocious behavior in general. But
And you look, and he like gestures to the feather pile in the corner. He goes, yeah, I'll fucking say.
I actually love this guy.
Is this just one of like the dwarf waiter guy? Is he in here, or is it just?
Yeah, he's in here as well. I mean, they're all working. He's not the guy you're speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of in the corner. He's like prepping food, like cutting vegetables for like a stew. This guy seems to be the head chef.
I'll kind of give like a little nod and be like, "I'm sorry that we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Odella."
And he says,
"I'm sure to enjoy your this wonderful chicken later."
And he goes, "I will. We'll do our best."
Wish I had like some spices to give him or something.
That would have been good. Yeah.
I know. I looked in my thing.
I was waiting to see if anybody had, but you didn't. Yeah. All right. So, you leave. And now, is there anything else that anybody wants to do over the course of the 3 hours before dinner? In game.
No.
Not before dinner. No.
Okay. 3 hours will go by. You guys will head to the kitchen, or I'm sorry, to the dining room rather. Actually, I don't know. Does she have I assume she has a formal dining room. We'll say she does in one of these rooms, or they set up a table in one of these rooms to have dinner. And
I do prestidigitate everybody before we go in, and although I will ask Lux if she will allow me first before I do it.
Oh yeah, she would fine.
Okay.
She knows how that you. She knows you, so she will allow it.
All right, so you guys all get at least cleaned up at the very least, and you go to dinner. You see that there is a venison stew for dinner. There is some roast chicken. There is a salad. You get the feeling in your heart of hearts, Roswin, that this was just not made for you. This was just made as an accent to the meal. It just also services you. They didn't go out of their way to make something special. And there are biscuits. Not like the hardtack biscuits contained in the pantry. These are more like actual like dinner roll style biscuits. Mostly like thick hearty bread for the stew, for sopping up all the juices and things. And did they have anything else that was interesting? No, I'll save all that. And then there's more rosé.
Yes, this is my favorite meal other than pie.
Well, you guys ate the pie.
Yeah.
We sure did. Delicious pie. Good job. Also, as like the wait staff goes in, she's also like, "Oh, here," and gives them like 5 gold. Thank you.
They take the gold, but
waiters.
They don't make eye contact and sort of snub you with their gestures, both Mir and Roswin. Mostly Mir.
Well, if I would have known they were gonna be
Weird.
like that, I wouldn't have took them so well.
Well, that's too bad. Because they did.
Are those my chickens on the table?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
they are all of your chickens.
Kind of distastefully looking at it.
So
Is it just us, or is it?
it is you 4. It is her. It is her 3 guards. And that is. Was there anybody else? Oh no, because there are 4 other young ladies that you had not seen before that do not seem to be as as buff, if you will, as these 3. Actually, there's actually a 4th, because I forgot there's a 4th that is here now. She was with her 3 before. There is a 4th, and there are 4 other young ladies that seem to be more and her 4 bodyguards, the elite, if you will, are still in their armor. The other 4 are just in nice dresses.
Roswin just compliments all of them.
And because the 4 other girls don't know what happened, they're just like, "Oh, thank you very much. I really like your dress."
Insight check.
Sure, at disadvantage with a 19. You actually have a hard time distinguishing. It's as if they have been finished to such a way that they can compliment you as that is the proper thing to do, and you can't actually read if they're lying or not. They've been trained so well as to how to go about social behavior. If she hated your dress, this is like a Regina George situation. Like, "Oh my god, retro, so cute." That's the ugliest fucking skirt I've ever seen. You don't know. So you genuinely think it's a compliment.
Roswin puffs up her puffy sleeves.
And she just again, like, her hands are in her lap and she smiles as you puff up your sleeves.
I'm making so many new friends today.
And is there anything specific you guys would like to discuss over dinner? Otherwise, we can just have the scene plays out, the rest of the dinner.
Just
Are
a
people
question.
plating our food, or are we plating our food?
Oh, no, it's being plated.
So, is everybody just like not talking to each other, or just like looking down, or how?
There is polite chit chat, if you will. Like,
Mhm.
oh,
Are they looking at us though?
Well, they're sort of. I mean, like the girls are talking. The girls do seem the younger girls. The 4 guards are just dour the whole thing. Like, they're eating, but they are they're here with a purpose, right? They're here to protect their lady, and she's having conversation. She will address you guys and just have. She'll address Odella occasionally and have a conversation. And the 4 girls are basically, they seem like as if they're chatting with her pretty often, as if this is their teacher. They're sort of like, "Oh, blah blah blah, this happened today. Today we learned about this," other things of that nature. And the girls will occasionally, the 4 younger girls, or the not elite guards, will occasionally turn to you and just ask, occasional things like, "Oh, have you been traveling long?" Or,
The worst dinner party ever.
"Is that your natural hair color to you, Lux?" And
She would bat her eyes. Yes, it is.
they're "It's very pretty." And then, they'll look to Odella and be like, "I really like your, I guess, would that be a diadem or a crown?" As they see, you kind of have your little diamonds. It really brings out your eyes.
She kind of nods and was like, "Mm-hmm, yeah, okay." But she'll be polite back to them in the same sort of tone, like, "Oh, well, I really love that necklace just really flatters your dress, and you have exquisite taste.
And she's like, "Oh, thank you."
I think this whole entire time Lux is trying not to throw up.
Yeah, probably.
Roswin is telling stories like, she's like, so then there were these guys in this inn and they were being so rude. And so like what we did was we all decided that enough was enough, and we went into like the rooms with them, and like I turned into a bear. You should have seen his face. It was so funny.
And like the girls are like like little cute laughs, or like they'll laugh with their hand in front of their face so as to not show their teeth while they're laughing, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, that's very like," and they're very active, listening, nodding, and making sure that you feel as though when the story beats are appropriate, they acknowledge that your story is ongoing. Oh, wanton murder, is that something you do often?
What? We didn't murder them.
Oh, well, that's nice.
What? Why would you assume?
I just imagine it's like that too.
I was gonna say, when they get the what's I'm sorry, this is a silly question.
Sure.
But when the meals are passed out, what's first? I just want to know where the soup is.
Oh, okay. You wanted to know? Yeah. The stew is probably like the first course, right? Because it's like a soup. But
would have grabbed in her little pouch and put something in it.
Salt Bay right into that into that soup. That's fine. Sure, of course. You do.
Where's your bag of infinite salt?
Good idea. I'll take it out and I'll just like. Boop.
And the dwarf cooks just glower at you.
I taste it. Is it very like flavorful or?
It is. It is actually well done. I mean, the stew is. It's got a it's the broth isn't too salty, which is impressive for a kind of broth for a stew. The venison is well cooked, well maintained. The game was clearly well handled. It is like melt in your mouth. Pull apart. There are carrots. There is celery. There are chunks of potatoes cut up within the stew. There is also mushrooms as well, which gives it a nice kind of earthy flavor that adds to the natural flavor of the venison. And then again, it's that really thick, crusty bread that you kind of just break open, and it's hot, the bread. So it's just, I feel like George R. R. Martin right now, as I describe the food here. But yeah, it is very good. And it's that kind of stick to your ribs, warm you up on the inside kind of food, which is nice. As you guys are in the mountains, I will remind you that it has been a drastic shift in the temperature up here. I mean, the house is well maintained and the fires are clearly stoked, but you're traversing through the woods. It was quite cool as you are in mountain peaks as opposed to coastal swamps. And again, there is a nice fresh green salads. You've got it's mostly like an iceberg type lettuce, but there's red cabbage in it and carrots, and there's some like celery again. There's broccoli florets in there. There's
They must have a great garden.
You guys didn't explore around the total backside of the house. I think you stopped when you found the kennel with the trolls and the drakes. So, which is a reasonable thing to do. And again, then there is basically like they start off. You have your soup and your salad basically, and your bread, and then you sort of have. I guess then it's chicken. It has all been like Spitfire roasted chicken, but you can see there's some sort of like seasoning, perhaps a dry rub of some kind on the top.
There's an angry char on it.
Yeah. Yeah, one has definitely been blackened. But yeah, it's and then again they're like, well, we would have had pie for dessert. But
I can go make one.
No.
Oh.
Actually, I should be like, oh, no, it's fine. We'll make do.
Okay. But if you need me,
They do have coffee as well,
I make good pie.
Coffee.
which would have been great with the pie.
Coffee with pie? That's a tea thing.
So,
Isn't
anyway.
coffee also somewhat fancy?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's not a common thing for most places to have. Tea is relatively common because it's just hot water and then leaves. But getting access to coffee beans is not a common thing, especially kind of in this part of Faerun because you're in the mountains, right? So, like, it's a nice little added pleasure. Again, to further attest to the upper classness that is this place. So,
Cool.
and the root beer floats. Oh my god! Don't even get me started. And one of the other dwarves will come out and he'll be like, let's see. She'll be like, well, we unfortunately didn't get to have our rhubarb pie as planned, but with some of the extra, we did have some raspberry jam, and Conrad did his best with what he had. So, here, and he brings out a plate of basically thumbprint cookies with like raspberry jam. So,
Dirty thumbs.
he's like, this is the best we got. So,
I eat that too, even though I've had a quarter of a pie.
yeah, you feel like it might be hard to fly right now.
Baby.
Couple more levels in the Belladonnas,
See,
and
this
you'll
is-
have pigestion, which you can eat pie without any of the negative side effects.
This
Do
is
you
how
still have
Roswell
your
says
turtle
small.
Sorry, say again.
No.
I got two things.
I do.
Yeah.
So nobody can see my food baby because I got a turtle shell on.
That's true. You do.
But yeah, this is how Roswin stays really slim: is that she eats a ton of pie, but then only salad.
Fair. Hey, that's reasonable. Okay. So, and again, there's rosé, but there is also just like regular ale if you'd rather not have like a fruity bubbly drink with your like hearty meal. So there is rosé, and there is just like an ale, like oh god, I don't know, like I think it's water deep, like I forget what it is, just like the standard Realms ale that's local to the region, as well as again the coffee. So,
Well,
yeah.
At the end of dinner, Roswin will approach Talis and be like, "Thanks for letting us stay here," and Druid craft a white rose for her.
She will, at the presence of magic in her face, recoil slightly. But then she will take the flower and says, "You're welcome. I hope that our agreement can be mutually beneficial."
I'm just imagining this woman stroking her chin the entire time she's talking to us.
Uh-huh. She's just like, I wish I had a beard. That's why I like to make my villains male, because then it fits.
Sorry.
That's okay. So she says that to you, and she accepts the white rose.
All right, I want to get out of here and get out of this show.
Okay.
Cordella will say farewell to each one of the girls that she's been chattering with by name.
Oh wow. Okay. So you do that, and then you can, and they will also respond in kind.
Hotel is so cool.
And then head back.
Okay. So you guys all go your separate, or leave the dinner table, I assume, after having your share of food, and then, right? Am I correct in assuming that?
Mm-hmm.
As we walk out, Roswin's gonna whisper to Odella and be like, "I don't really know like formal stuff. When do we ask her when we can have all of her things? Like she said we could. Didn't she say we could have a bunch of stuff in here if she didn't care about it?"
don't remember that.
Didn't she? That's what I thought you said you don't. She said she didn't care about all the nice things in
No,
here.
she
Any of
cared
the
about
things
all
in the castle
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
where you guys are gonna go and stop
Right.
Well, then
the
never
treasure hoard.
Odella will be like, "Oh no! She meant in the sky, the cloud giant castle. Don't take anything from here. You haven't taken anything from here, have you?"
No, I was looking at something, but
Okay.
I won't forget. Unless it's more pie and rosé, maybe.
So,
But I'll ask.
learning
Good.
process.
I'm not stupid. I'm just ignorant.
So, you guys then, I assume, head to your respective rooms after dinner. At which point, you'll hear the dwarves come and kind of clean up from dinner after you guys have left. You hear clattering of plates and things. And her students will also leave. Then you guys are free to do what you want for the evening. What nonsense are you guys gonna do this evening?
Food coma.
Oh, is it just are you guys just gonna go to sleep? Because I'll be blown away by that.
Long day.
I'm fine with that. It makes it very easy for me.
Can we take a quick break? Because I need a bio
Yes,
break.
I was going to suggest after dinner we shall take a break. So we're after dinner. So guys, we're gonna take a short break here. So go get your coffee or whatever. If you haven't, I'll put the link in the description. Katie, you can go. I will do the outro here if you want to go take your break. There's a link to the giveaway that we have going on in the chat right now if you haven't entered already. I will also say that as I put this up, we have a new campaign starting tomorrow, but also we did revamp our flint buck system to swap out some of the things that we had done in the past because we had some things that myself and Jake can also attest as DMs on the channel took away a little bit too much of the control from the DMs, like the automatic crits. So we removed those. If people still have them, they remain. But we took away other things like the renaming of an NPC and the addition of an ally for a combat. But we added in some other things like short rest benefits and heroes feasts and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that stuff if you would like to donate to use those. Some are flint bucks, some are real world dollars, some are both. So I'm going to switch us to our BRB screen and throw up some tunes while I go grab a little refresher on my coffee here. So we shall be right back. All right, so we're all back now. So we'll pick back up where we left off, having retired for the evening post-dinner. What would you guys like to do? If it's just sleep and spoon or whatever the situation may be, that is fine. Although I guess with Roswin's wings off the side of the bed, spooning isn't really an option with Lux.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna be the
Roswin
big
can
spoon.
spoon Lux.
Oh, I guess you're gonna be the big spoon. That's true.
Yeah.
I get it. Just like logistically, there's just height wise, like you're like spooning half of her, I guess.
Yeah, like I can barely wrap my arm around her giant biceps.
That's true. But in all seriousness, was that what's happening?
Odella is going to kind of not go to bed, but kind of sit and meditate for a while, just wondering if it is truly the right path to be aligning herself with the cult of the dragons, since she was explicitly sent to destroy them. So
Sure. Also, you guys could take baths. There are bathhouses. There are bath.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Lux, come on!
Like Roswin's like they're like half asleep, and then Roswin's like, "There's a bath."
Remember, there are upstairs and downstairs baths.
Yeah, I remember. Didn't you say that there was one really nice one? Like, really nice one?
That was the upstairs one.
Okay, I'm gonna go up there and prepare it by crafting, like, flowers into the water.
Sure. This one has two bathtubs in the same room. Yeah, right?
Beautiful. I will prepare both baths.
Okay. Here, I'll put you back on the second floor so you can see.
Take me back, Ted. Take me
You can see it there with the yellow rug.
Yeah.
There are two baths.
Right in that bath.
Yeah, right there.
Who's coming?
Well, I mean, she looks would have gone kind of
Sure.
groggily, but she would go. And
Okay, you need to move your token into the bathtub.
Oh my god.
I need to what?
Move your token into the bathtub, apparently.
Okay.
That's important.
Oh, same bath.
She's used to you.
They're just sitting on opposite ends of the tub.
Yeah.
With the whole nother tub all prepared.
Roswin has had some rosé brought in.
Sure, we'll say that's a thing you did.
Mhm.
So what about Mir and Odello?
I would imagine them hearing running
Yes.
in the hallway.
Yes. I'm sure you could hear the exclamation of "they have a bath" through the wall.
Has Mir participated in a bath yet?
No.
Oh.
She's a cat, so I'm gonna
Maybe
go
I don't bathe. I'm an urchin cat.
I know, but, like,
with...
I don't think she knows the bathroom.
That face is priceless. Somebody gift that, please.
Someone clip it.
Yeah, right. That Liz face. The eyes and the teeth really just make it. So yeah, I don't know. No, you haven't yet, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing you do, but they are in the upstairs bath. What's Odella's move?
I'll kind of explain it to Mir and
Okay.
tell her that if she wants to go join them, she's more than welcome to. But Odella's actually going to stay in the room.
Well, that's a hard choice to make.
Yeah.
No, she realizes that it's been a while since she took a bath, so she just starts cleaning herself
In the room.
in the room.
All right.
She
So
doesn't really take baths.
okay, there you go.
Fair enough.
So you get to witness this, Odella. I will also remind you, not that I feel like I need to, but humanoid creatures are much less flexible than cats, just for purposes of cleaning yourself. Just
The thing where she's
Well, that's
up her
gross.
behind
I don't
legs.
lick my butt.
no.
Quote. That's a quote.
person.
Adding it.
I meant like trying to lick your middle to upper back is not really like a.
No, like my arms are, icky.
Oh, just your arms. Your rest of your body is
Yeah.
fine.
Like my arms are like my collarbone. Just like
Oh, just the
That's
things
what
that you can
shows.
easily lick are the things that get clean, but the rest of you doesn't. Like that tail is just nasty. Like, oh wait, I'm sorry, there isn't a tail. My mistake.
No.
Forgot
Also-
about that.
Oh, I lick my little Toby.
Healing.
That's to help aid with the tats. Yeah.
No, I haven't heard a tattoo artist tell me not to lick my tattoos.
I mean, this is about it. This is like applying. This is like
Salve.
yeah. This is this is applying the salve, but as a tabaxi, you just lick them.
Got magic healing spit like in Steven Universe.
I was gonna say, I imagine, the abrasiveness of a cat tongue definitely won't be bad for the newly tattooed tender flesh of your feet.
Oh no.
Odella looks very concerned.
She's
yeah.
like trying to like really have like some deep thinking moments, and she turns around.
Yes, here's like the scratchiness of my tongue on my Toby.
There's an occasional hairball. I want to point out for those of you watching at home that it is nowhere discussed in the racial descriptions of a tabaxi that they act exactly like cats. That's just
I
how
wouldn't
our
say exactly.
that's just how our players have decided to interpret it, and that's okay. In your game, that may not be the case And that's okay too.
I would say more cat-like, not like a cat.
Sure. Let's say.
Resembling a cat, but not like one.
You can say whatever you want, but we all know the truth. So anyway, what was Odella doing while this is happening in the room with her?
Trying to ignore it, first of all. Like, kind of like raising an eyebrow every once in a while. Like, you sure you don't want to go join them in that bath? You might like it. And then kind of just closing your eyes and like trying to maybe talk to Melandris to see if he has any sort of opinion on the situation.
About the joining the cult of the dragon,
No,
or
about me
allying
or
with the cult of the
I'm just
dragon.
kidding. Yes, about the allying.
Tabaxi will be tabaxi. Is that... go ahead and make me a religion check.
Probably gonna be horrible, like all my other roles.
Yep.
It's not too bad though, considering.
The distractions.
Yeah, the ongoing cleaning process happening. Just like there's one bed, so I don't know how the situation is going, but it's like if she's sitting on the bed doing this and you're doing what I imagine is the stereotypical like praying next to the bed, like this is happening like 2 feet to your left with your eyes shut, so you can very clearly
I feel
hear
like
it.
she's probably a little bit used to it after like that whole caravan ride of her and your.
Based on what I just heard, she didn't do this the entire caravan ride.
That's true. This is a new development.
She just decided that she was dirty and needed to get cleaned now. Just
Take a
now.
little presentation over.
It was the first time that it occurred to me in this whole.
So that answers that. This is the first time you witnessed this. Yeah. Just some stealth prestidigitation from 10 feet away, like, oh look, she's clean.
Yep.
Right. So, with your religion check, it's and you're prayed to Bellandris to try to ask for guidance on what to do this. You sort of get rather than a direct response, you've had more direct responses in the past. This seems more like a somewhat uncertain, and the kind of vibe that you get from this is that some decisions you need to make for yourself, but in the process of having this meeting, if you will, you feel as though you have been granted you've always had abilities that seem to have come somewhat naturally to you based off of, just natural talent, perhaps, whatever the case may be. But in praying in this moment, you feel as though you are actually granted more active power from Bellandris, and it seems as though to accentuate that point of it's some choices you need to make for yourself, but perhaps I can give you some power whichever you decide to choose, and this manifests itself as your newly gained warlock level.
Yay!
Congratulations.
It feels so special.
So, you now have this more active power granted from a benevolent force who's sort of been, no pun intended, an angel on your shoulder, or guardian angel through your lifetime. However, this is your choice to make.
So is she gonna have like a devil on her side?
A devil on her side, did you say?
Yeah.
No, she's just got the angel right now. No. You know, it's funny. One of the sorcerer things that you didn't roll, I think, is that. Like,
Oh yeah.
is that you have, or maybe it was a tiefling one. I forget what it was, but there's one that's basically like.
I think I saw it in the sorcerer one.
It
'cause
might be like you
those
have.
quests.
There is a small angel that appears on your shoulder that only you can see, and there's one that's like a devil appears that only you can see, and then there's one that's it's both.
Mhm.
That help you make your decisions. So no, none of that. But you have this newly granted warlock abilities, which is more direct contact than you've had in the past, and you feel the direct influence that this is a granted power. As such, if you are ever to do something drastically in opposition, granted power can be revoked, whereas your gifted from birth power is something you just have. So it comes with like a small caveat that, you know, what is granted can be taken away. But you know,
Ever the practical.
yes. But you know, live and die by your own choices, as it were. Maybe not literally, maybe literally, I don't know. So
Cool.
yeah. So that happens.
And then-
That takes the whole process. This isn't like an instant thing that just like happens. This is probably about like an hour, I'd say, of deep meditation. You put your tadpole in the other tub.
Oh no.
There's a tadpole, a big ass freaking tadpole, about yay big.
Like, tadpole thing
Yeah.
that you like.
Yeah,
He's in a jar. Probably wants to swim around a little bit.
yeah. This is fresh water for him.
Yeah.
So he's about yay big, and he is swimming around in that tub. And he seems to be loving it.
I lock the door and I let out all of my little animal friends.
So can we, for the
Oh,
folks,
geez.
for the folks at home, can we get a reminder of what that is?
My tadpole?
No, all of the things that you're letting loose.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
jeez.
Well, I have my little sunflower who's animate, but he's actually the size of a halfling now.
Yeah, so I don't know where you've been hiding him, but that's fine.
He just disappears. I don't know.
We haven't put too much thought into it, but I'll have to
Whatever.
remember. But
So
anyway,
he's running around, probably dipping his roots in there. I've got my bunny who thinks he's a snake.
yep.
I assume my butterflies that are floating around my scepter.
Yeah, they're
Am I,
there. Always there.
Yeah, they're just chilling, probably around Floyd, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do I have? Let me look over here. I've got my owl. Is
Yep.
chilling.
Boba. Yeah.
Boba. I've got.
The fact that it's this many and we're still possibly going is ridiculous. What have I done to myself?
You know, he's not really alive yet, but you know, I put my male elemental, earth elemental rock out, just you know, to feel like he's part of something.
Sure.
And also my one guy who's in amber, which is actually also a tadpole.
Yeah.
I just put him there, you know, why not?
Hang out with his homies. Sure.
Yeah, and then Lex, you have your badger, right? So he can come play too.
I have a badger and I have an egg.
Yes.
Yeah.
The egg. The steel-colored egg that is heavier than it should be, or whatever the wording was.
Mm-hmm.
And I cast speak with animals.
You son of a bitch. They all talk, but it hurts your brain. So,
They all talk at once.
oh god.
During your time, it's been a long time since I could talk to you. Jeez, how's everybody doing? Everyone getting along, guys.
It's like the silkworms all over again.
One of them asks, "Where's Poppy?" And I just start crying. Anyway,
The tadpole's just like, ma, ma.
I go up to the edge and I'm like, I'm your mom now.
And then he just looks up at you and he goes, Mom, Mom, Mom.
The honey badgers don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't. Absolutely. At all.
That's how we get along. Just
Yeah.
dandy.
Yeah, you guys get along very well. So that's happening. So Odella, this happens. It takes about an hour of deep meditation, but you do have access to the abilities and all of that good stuff. Do you want to do anything else?
Before I go to bed, I spend some quality time with Pygot.
Oh, of
Give him
course.
some little treats and tell him that I appreciate him and that even though I may not have him do stuff all the time, that he's always my best friend and I love him.
Yeah. So that.
And I have no idea what he was doing during dinner, so God knows what those girls were seeing.
Either way, they did not break character. Like they kept
I
it
figured.
together the whole time. They are very well trained. But there's just general emotions of love and happiness.
Aww.
A little, concern, obviously, this whole scenario. But it's just general happy emotions kind of flood through you. Mir, while you are cleaning yourself, you get a mental image of all of the girls that you've seen just naked in like a big steamy bath orgy in your brain. But it's like they're all together, but there's no actual, it is not anything like distasteful. So they're not actually, it's just like they're all sort of together, but like, well,
Yeah.
right, I did. But I'm gonna recall that because I forgot that it's only tasteful. But there's a lot of like accentuating and occasional steam in this bathhouse that basically like any like hot spring anime episode where they're all in the hot spring, right? So you've got all 9 of these ladies like that, and you just get this
anime that's trying to be like still okay
Suggestive.
for like the general public.
Yeah, it is very suggestive, full-on fan service, if you will, but without we're towing that line. And this just like pops into your head as you're cleaning yourself.
Mir just
And-
goes like, Sound like yourself.
Oh, we're not.
So you guys, that happens, and anything else before the evening comes to a close before the
Nope,
next day?
sleep time.
Wow, all right. I'm shocked. Okay, you guys wake up the next morning well rested. You get the benefits of a long rest. Everybody's health comes back. Your spell slots are back. Everybody is level 7,
I gotta roll a bunch of shit.
as discussed. Oh yeah, you got to get back all of your things.
Yeah. So just ignore all these rolls that are gonna happen in like 5 seconds.
Sure. Let's just make sure everybody is level 7. And that is going to be
I
another.
get my better things. Oh, and I got a trinket, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
From Zaltris. He wants me to get another pet. I
Well-
do too.
We'll find out. I think that is good. So everybody should be up to date for level 7. I just gotta think. All you gotta add into your character sheet, Liz, is that you have evasion. To your character sheet.
And hit points.
I threw those in because I think I have them because I was in the sheet making sure that everything was up to date. It just happened to be in there, and it's only 7 more. So she's good. You just got to add in the stuff for evasion, and you have to, let me see. We had a roll for a trinket. It was all just 78. Let's find out.
Pet, 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 pet.
1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Druid. 78. I think you already have. Do you have a crystal ball that can tell you tomorrow's weather?
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, you already have that too? Okay, you already have that too. Roll me a percentile, Katie.
25.
Okay. Huh. Well, so this is fun. Did you know now, attaining level 7, apparently your druid senses have expanded.
Oh?
You can now hear the high-pitched excitement of blooming flowers.
Wow.
And
That's
the decades-long conversations of really old trees.
Oh my god, that makes so wise.
I hate myself.
Oh wait, before I went to sleep, can I say that I read my book? I assume that that's still going on, my abyssal book.
Yes, we can say that happens as well.
I gotta get past my conversational
yes.
abyssals.
Okay. So you guys sleep through the night. You all wake up in the morning. You guys head out, or what do you guys do?
We go find Grandmother Willow. Just kidding.
Cool. What do you really do?
I wake up and I shake Lux awake too.
Okay, you guys are awake.
Mm-hmm.
Lux, do you think that they have continental breakfast here?
I look at Roswell and I bust out laughing.
What? Why are you laughing? That was a serious question. I'm hungry.
No, it is a very serious question.
Yeah.
They might have breakfast for us, but I really think that woman wants us out.
Fine.
Maybe we can she'll give you like this grin. You can always raid the kitchen.
No, we gotta ask. I said I was gonna ask. Let's go ask.
Okay, we can go ask.
Okay.
What about Mir and Odella?
I guess I want to go check on Roswin and Lux, so I guess we'll
say
out.
You guys all leave the bedroom at the same time.
Yep.
Meet in the hallway. There you guys are in the hallway. What do you want to do?
I will knock on the kitchen door.
Sure. You do. And someone says from inside that it's open.
I will walk into the kitchen and say good morning.
You see them. They're already like bustling around with bacon and eggs and hash browns and toast. And they're like piling stuff on plates. And they're like, "Oh, good morning. Gotta serve breakfast." And they like walk out past you with like trays of food into where you guys ate the night before.
I cartoon style follow them with my nose, with my wings flapping a little bit, so I'm like slightly floating.
Okay. If you follow, you follow. I'm assuming that you follow them. So, basically, you see that all 4 of them leave the kitchen with various trays because they're dwarves. So they don't have like very long arms to carry a ton of food. So they each are basically carrying a tray. So Roswin floats behind them. And do the rest of you follow? Do you go into the kitchen? What goes on?
Well, I mean,
the rest of them, because they all walked out of the kitchen. The 4 servants left. What do you guys
I would
do?
follow Roswin.
Mm-hmm.
What about Odella and Mir?
Yeah, I'll follow Roswin.
Mir, you're on mute, so I don't know.
That was yes.
I think it was,
Yes.
but I want to make sure that it wasn't like, yes, I go into the kitchen and cause more trouble.
No, I go with them.
Okay, so you go with them. You follow into the room, and you see that Talis is in there, as are her 4 guards. The 4 girls from the night before are not there, but there are place settings for you guys. And she says, in an effort to show no ill will towards you for the events of yesterday, I present to you a breakfast before you head out on your way.
Very
And
kind of you.
she gestures to the spread of breakfast and bids you all to sit down.
Adela takes a seat.
I also share.
There is also coffee for breakfast as well. So
I had coffee once. I was up for days. Never again.
so you guys all sit, and it's a very quiet breakfast. She doesn't say much.
That's okay. I say plenty.
I'm sure you do.
If she had coffee, yeah, she would say a lot.
Yeah. So.
But in all seriousness, Talis, you were talking before about armbands that we can use. Do you have any of those on hand?
She says that I actually don't have any of those on hand, but if you did take the banner that we discussed from the linen closet, that should be more than enough to get you to the castle, and if you remember the phrases that I had said and the salute, that should get you through most people.
I stick my hand out like that, and I'm like, I got you.
Yes.
Well, this breakfast has been lovely.
Yeah, so you guys eat the breakfast. It's good. And she basically eats her breakfast as well, but best way you could describe it is eager to see you leave.
Why?
She doesn't say it. She just body language hints at that, let us say.
All right.
So, with that being said, do you depart from this building here?
Yep.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
think so. There's nothing else. I don't want to make her angry.
She'll kill us.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys leave. And then what? These guys gonna just start heading towards Parnas, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay. You guys travel through the woods. Do random encounters in the woods. There. So you guys, it takes about the better part of half a day. So around lunchtime, you guys crest, or actually it wouldn't be cresting because you'd be coming down. You come out of the forest, and you see ahead of you a small town. The village has a few dozen houses in a small square with buildings that include a tavern, a stable, and a shrine. In contrast to this rustic burg stands a mighty ice castle half hidden in a fog-shrouded ravine. Walls stand 40 feet high, huge narrow towers loom upward, one of blue ice, one crumbling, and all of it is built to a scale for giants. Wisps of fog hide much of the castle's detail, but you see 2 statues standing just before the enormous gate.
Let's go down that town, right, guys?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to do the flying thing instead of the climb up a rope thing. I'm not a climber.
Okay, so you guys make your way down into the town of Parnas.
I assume we would have discussed that on the way. Did we want to do the flying thing, or did we want to climb up to the castle?
I'm flying either way, so I don't really care.
Weird. Do you have an opinion?
I mean, I could climb easy.
Odella, compared to you, though, has limp noodle arms.
She meant the spider climb, I think.
Yeah.
She wouldn't fall off a rope ladder anyway.
Not with that attitude.
You guys have basically started to walk into the center of town. There are, obviously, what did I say? There are several houses. You can see the stable. You can see a shrine. There's a village, like a well and like a town square, and there seems to be a tavern as well. What's your guys' move?
Does it seem like there's a place where wyverns? Is that what she said?
That is what she said.
Would be housed.
Potentially
Or some
the
sort of flying
stables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you really don't. Other than
She said there was like a ferry, so I'm assuming.
yeah. You guys don't. She didn't really give you, or you didn't really ask either, too much about this town or what the deal is here. So you don't really know. You know that the castle is clearly here. You can see it.
You said there's a temple. What's the temple to?
Okay, so you guys are gonna head over to the temple. So,
I was just curious.
yeah, well, you gotta make your way over there.
Okay.
So, this wooden building is a shrine for woodcutters, and it combines several gods under one roof.
Oh,
Do you enter to see more?
why not?
Okay.
I'm a curious person.
There is a statue to some form of elven deity from the look, but you're not sure who it is. But then you do see other statues. You see a statue of Oril, the god of cold and ice. Shantea, goddess of agriculture. Mieliki, goddess of the forest. You also see that the kind of slightly deformed elven goddess basically has the hands have been chopped off. And it's sort of been the actual face of it has been carved off as well. The hands are chopped off. There's a dead squirrel at the feet of the Oral statue. And the statue of Mieliki has been freshly painted and also has a set of small cups, bits of bread, and other small sacrifices at its feet.
Does the one statue with his face cut off, does that seem like it's supposed to be like that, or like this god fell out of favor in this town?
It does not seem to be. It looks like it was an afterthought. You can go ahead and make me a religion check if you want. Yeah, I guess you would somehow know about this obscure elven deity.
Yay!
This is Angharad. And then when you make that connection, you can guess that all these gods are here to represent the seasons. And you make the three together didn't make a lot of sense, but this weird elven deity that clearly has been defaced for some reason has a representation typically of spring. And then that clicks that Oral, goddess of cold, would be winter. Shantea, being harvest, would be summer. And then Mieliki, the forest, would be autumn. So it seems like it's a temple also dealing with the seasons. And then, yeah, as far as the other sacrifices and things, you're not too, like, what means what. You know what I mean? Like, you're not sure if that's normal. Because you're not really super religious about these other deities.
Right. Fascinating. Okay. Should we go to the tavern, maybe?
Sure. This tavern is called the Golden Tankard. That's the name of this tavern. A yellow tankard hangs over the door of this rustic tavern. Inside, though, the place is short on cheer. All conversation stops and all eyes turn in your direction. A tall, heavy-set man with enormous mutton-chop sideburns steps forwards and asks, "What can I get you, travelers?"
I'll take a rosé. Please.
They don't have rosé.
I'm good with water.
All right. You guys can buy a mug of beer for 3 copper or a mug of strong mead for a silver piece.
I'll take the mead.
Alrighty, there's also sausage on the menu, as well as stewed cabbage and heavy black bread. 4 copper for a full plate of all of that. It's not exactly fine dining, but
I'll take a lunch.
All right, you
I
get a
would
lunch.
love a stewed cabbage.
So you basically get the whole thing. That's how it works, but you don't have to eat the sausage. So it's just 4 copper for the plate.
Okay, we'll just order a round
Okay.
of everything for everybody and take a seat somewhere. And I want to eavesdrop on people.
So while he says that, and he says, as you guys order, he says, "I'll send the pot boy out to you in a moment with the finest available in my hovel tavern." He goes towards the kitchen, bellowing for a cask. So you guys go and sit, waiting for your food and things to arrive. And you're planning to eavesdrop, is what it sounds like, correct?
Yeah, I kind of want to eavesdrop on some people, see if I can get the lay of the land.
Alrighty.
If they're talking about pie, we get advantage.
You also notice behind the bar, like on a shelf in the center of and sort of a display of prominence, is a large golden tankard, or stein rather, with dancing dwarves and grain patterns on the side of it.
I see it. Do I see it?
You do see it. It is not. It's not easily discernible the value, which to you means that potentially means it could have magical properties.
Oh.
Because I mean, the tankard in and of itself, just the gold value is probably about like 20 pieces of gold, because it's plated with gold, and it's fairly sizable. So you know that much, but so let's see what you guys can pick up. Rumors and information. You don't. People are pretty quiet here in and of themselves. Did you want to? You could potentially try and chat up some folks.
Who's in here? Like, what kind of makeup is it? Normal human-looking folk, or
pretty much.
farmers?
Yeah, you see a handful of various people. They all seem to be like blue-collar types. And then again, there's as you guys are kind of surveying the room, the young boy comes out and brings you all your food to the table, and you see the bartender emerge from the kitchen. He's kind of just doing his bartender, cleaning out a glass behind the bar. Yeah, there's, like I said, it's a mixed match, but primarily human. Men, women, but like I said, it's mostly seems like working types here. You guys are here at about what do we say, about a half a day, so it's lunchtime. People coming in for a drink and get some lunch. So, do you want to chat anybody up, or what's the plan?
Lux is just gonna sprinkle some more stuff.
Sure, yeah, sprinkle away.
Does anyone seem particularly interested in us?
Yeah. There is one guy. He kind of you seem obviously starkly different than everyone here.
Right.
Or just like normal human people, and you guys are not. So he kind of makes like I know, it's a Davis situation all over again. Makes sort of like eyes at you, like he's trying to get your attention, but not draw attention to himself. If that makes sense.
Okay. I will make my way over to him.
Okay.
Wait. First, I'm gonna try to do like a subtle thing to see if he's maybe also a harper, or if he.
What are you doing?
I do have as part of my background, it says I know a set of secret signs and passwords you can use to identify such operatives.
Okay. You don't see anything that distinguishes him as a Harper agent based on looking at him. Okay. So do you perform one of your signs?
Yes. I'll do like a hand signal, a subtle hand signal.
Sure, yeah. He just kind of like gives you a quizzical look, like he doesn't know what that is.
Okay, I'll make my way over to him.
Okay, so you go and sit down, and he's just like sipping from a tankard, and he just kind of like looks at you, and he's sort of like shifty, looking around.
I saw you making eyes at me.
And he says, "We don't get much folk a lot of new folks in town. They all seem to have a certain association."
Oh, you mean people who maybe headed towards that giant castle that's stacked outside your town?
And he's just like, shh. And he goes, and he just sort of nods. And he goes, it's not really safe to talk here.
Is there a place?
He
where
says, if you
it's
want to meet
safe?
me at my shop, that should be safe. He says,
Okay.
my name is Gundolin the Wheelwright. Make wagons. You'll see the shop. It's not too far from here. He says, I'm going to finish my meal, and then I will leave. I suggest we leave separately. I will talk to you more when we're there.
Okay, can I insight check him?
Sure.
See if he's trying to lead us into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Seems about average for me.
He seems truthful.
Okay.
So, you make your way away from his table, I assume?
Yeah, I'll kind of giggle like he was flirting with me or something.
Gotcha.
And then be like, I'm going to go back to my table now.
Okay. And you leave and head back to your table. And he eventually finishes his food and then makes his way out.
Be like, guys, I think maybe we should finish up our food and then maybe go explore the town a little bit more. And I'll like wink at them.
There's something in your eye. Here, open it wide, and I'll see if I can find.
I do it just so it doesn't look weird.
No, you look clear.
Oh man, it just really was bugging me.
Mhm.
Then I kind of give a look to like Lux to see if she understands what I'm trying to say.
She nods at you, and yeah, I think we should take a peek.
Okay.
All right. So you guys make your way to out, and you can see the shop pretty easily just from. There's town's not that big,
Okay, head over to the shop.
right? Like this is the whole town.
Oh gosh, it's so tiny.
I know, but like it's. You can see there's not that many houses, so
It's like
you
when-
could.
if you go to Iceland, like when you drive
What?
around the road, there's actually
Sure.
like maps of like the cities like that you just can drive off of. And there's 4 buildings here. This is a town.
Yeah, basically. Parnast is the name of the town. Paranga. Just throw that out there.
Cool.
It's not Parn-ass.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
It's not.
I mean, have you seen how small this town is? I would definitely call it Parn.
You lived in a cottage in the woods. Get out of here.
You should have seen my garden, though. It was luxurious.
It's all dead now.
That's not true. I have a dryad friend who lives there.
Anyway, whose name we still don't know.
I don't know.
What?
Her name's Dryad number 1.
Oh, yeah. Clearly on a first name basis. So you make your way to the shop. And he welcomes you guys inside.
Okay, do we want to pause there
Sure.
so that some people can go to sleep?
Sure.
Liz is already asleep.
I know. You're muted. Still muted.
Okay.
I'm awake, trying to stay awake.
I know Lex is also.
I'm still curious about that cup. I kind of wanted to ask about that cup, but it's too late now. After this, we just run back in. Hey, tell me about that cup.
I feel like maybe we can ask about the cup.
Is Lex snoring?
No.
No, okay. Sorry,
That
it's
Ava.
That might be Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So that's that. This is, Claire was worried when I went up on our break. She's like, "Is everything okay? You were yelling a lot." And I was like, "Yeah, they make poor choices."
Belladonnas.
Just play with the Belladonnas.
Don't you understand?
She's just like, I don't know. You were like cursing and yelling a lot, and I was like, "Yeah, they just
What the fuck?
want to fucking do this right now." Anyway, so that's gonna do it for us for episode number 28 of Hoard of the Dragon Queen. We have landed in Parnast, and the party is gonna try to get some more information before they potentially hop aboard a cloud giant castle.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for a cloud giant castle.
To potentially. Oh, Hypertroller, you didn't. The stream went down for a sec, so it's actually been up longer than an hour and 26 minutes. It's been up for 2 hours and 56 minutes. So we shall see what happens then. Real quick, is there anything, any place anybody can find you on the internet that people should know about, or things you have going on that you want to announce?
I got nothing.
Nani.
You can find me on Twitter at lazy_mermaiden.
Yeah, you can find me under Twitter and Twitch under the same name, Light Nevaeh. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST, I will be playing. Actually, I will be on my channel. I'll be playing either a monk or a paladin. It's interesting doing a dual characters. So basically, it's almost the end of the world. So we'll see where it goes.
There you go.
Cool.
And again, be sure to come back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. or 8:30, I guess is what we're going to shoot for. We'll see if these guys actually manage, because they should be here early. Because, guys, at 3:30 p.m. today, the 6th, is exactly 1 year to the date that I became a father. So, the guys are going to come up early. We're going to have pizza to celebrate West Dean 1, and then we're going to jump into a brand new campaign at level 1, set in the homebrew world of Everend, and I will be releasing a video tomorrow with like a very high level, what is Everend, and then that, so you guys will know what that is. So, anyway, hope to see you guys tomorrow. Come out, watch me be nervous and excited about debuting something that's been a long time in the making, and I'm still getting fucking character info now for the game that's been planned for 1.5 years. I just got like 4 things of character info this morning. Bad players. Bad.
I'm excited.
Anyway.
I'm really excited.
So we hope to see you guys in the chat tomorrow.
I'll be there. I've been waiting for this.
So, anyway, guys, we'll see you then. Have a wonderful night. Stay warm, because it's getting cold in a lot of places, and snow keeps coming. And there's like a big bunch coming this way, so that's gross.
Super gross.
So.
Go to bed, Liz.
Anyway, I don't like it.
Night all.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Ah.